Wake up. Hey, said wake up! Oh, look who finally decided to join the server. What, did you lag out of reality for a second? Welcome back, my eternally mute sidekick. Today, we are diving into a topic that every single person with an internet connection, a keyboard, and an unhealthy obsession with Japanese culture thinks they are an absolute expert on. Samurai. Now look at me. Look me in the eyes. If you are sitting there expecting me to talk about some cinematic anime protagonist, spiky white hair, dual-wielding katanas, and screaming about friendship to defeat his enemies, because history is actually weirder, bloodier, and way more sweaty than your favorite weekend binge watch. You think you're tough because you got a booyah in a Free Fire Max lobby? You think surviving a Minecraft no-jump challenge makes you a legend? Please. These guys were playing a battle royale where respawning wasn't an option, and the loot drops were just the severed heads of your enemies. So, put down the controller, stop pretending you know how to use a sword just because you bought a plastic one at a convention, and let's look at the actual deadliest fighters to ever wear ridiculous helmets. Alright, we are standing in the historical character select screen. We've got a massive roster, but I am not wasting my time on the guys who just sat in a castle and drank tea. We want the guys who racked up kill-death ratios that would get them permanently banned for hacking. Let's start with a classic. Select Minamoto no Yoshitsune. If there was ever a guy who literally felt like an overpowered anime character who got isekai'd into the 12th century, it is this guy. The year is 1180. Japan is tearing itself apart in the Genpei War, which is basically a massive, violent family feud between the Minamoto clan and the Taira clan. Yoshitsune is on the Minamoto side, naturally, because his dad got executed by the Taira when he was a baby. Yoshitsune grew up in a monastery, presumably learning how to pray and be a good little monk, but instead he sneaks out and learns how to fight from tengus, legendary bird demons. Yes, obviously, you idiot, but it tells you exactly how ridiculously agile and terrifying this guy was. People genuinely believed he was trained by mythological creatures because his movement mechanics were just entirely broken. Fast forward to the Battle of Dan Noura in 1185. This is a massive naval battle. Ships everywhere. The Taira clan is getting desperate. They are shooting arrows, swinging swords, people are sickly a wearable anchor. And what does Yoshitsune do? The legend says he performs the Hasso Tobi, or the 8-boat leap. He literally jumps across 8 different enemy boats, avoid getting caught, styling on his enemies like a parkour speedrun. He didn't just win the battle, he humiliated them. But, because this is Japanese history and gets super jealous of all the followers and subscribers Yoshitsune is getting.
Oh, you won the war for me? Cool, I'm gonna brand you a traitor.
Classic sibling rivalry. Trapped. Yoshitsune rage quits.
Next character. Let's see. Oh, look at this. You thought the samurai were just a boys' club? Think again, you uneducated potato. Select Tomoe Gozen.
Oh, listen to me very carefully. Tomoe Gozen is not your average waifu. She is an onnamusha, a female warrior, and she would literally rip your head off your shoulders and use it as a bowling ball.
We are still in the Genpei War era, and Tomoe is fighting for Minamoto no Yoshinaka. The tale of the Heike, which is basically the ancient Japanese equivalent hyped-up patch note log. We are still in the Genpei War era, and Tomoe is fighting for Minamoto no Yoshinaka. The tale of the Heike, which is basically the ancient Japanese equivalent hyped-up patch note log, ready to confront a demon or a god. She wasn't just sitting in the back handing out water bottles, she was a frontline commander. At the Battle of Owazu in 1184, things are going terribly wrong for her. They are down to just a handful of riders. Yoshinaka looks at Tomoe and says, "Look, I'm gonna die here. You are a woman. You need to leave so I don't look bad," which is incredibly sexist, but hey, 12th century. Tomoe doesn't cry, she doesn't beg, she basically sighs, rolls her eyes, and says, "Fine, let me just show off one last time." She rides directly into a group of 30 enemy samurai. 30!
She picks out their strongest warrior, a guy named Honda no Moroshige. She rides up to him, grabs him, drags him off his horse, pins him against the saddle, cuts off his head, drops it on the ground.
She literally secured a solo squad wipe, grabbed the VIP kill, and then logged off forever. Historians don't even know what happened to her after that. She just vanished. Absolute legend behavior. Wait, hold on, don't move. Don't touch anything. Yes? What do you mean we are over budget on the sword sound effects? I don't care if a shing costs $5 every time, it's cinematic. Fine, just stop crying. All right, look at me. War is stressful. Getting your head chopped off by a lady on a horse is stressful. You know what else is stressful? Modern life. That is why you need to check out today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Look, I get it. You are trying to grind out your daily tasks, but your mental health bar is right around 2%, and you have 0 health potions left. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that matches you with a licensed therapist so you can finally talk about why you project your insecurities onto historical figures. It is entirely online, which is perfect because I fill out a questionnaire, get matched, and start fixing your mental loadout. Use the link in the description to get 10% off your first month. All right, back to the bloodshed. We need someone heavy. We need a tank. He is wearing a helmet with giant, ridiculous deer antlers on it. And this is just to show you that he means business.
Honda Tadakatsu is the ultimate tank.
You would think wearing giant handles on your head in a sword fight would be a massive disadvantage, right? It's like putting a giant grab me sign on your forehead. But Honda Tadakatsu didn't care, because Tadakatsu was a general under Tokugawa Ieyasu, the guy who eventually unified Japan and ended all the battle royale nonsense. But Ieyasu didn't do it alone. He did it because he had Honda Tadakatsu. He wielded a spear called the Tanbogiri, or the dragonfly cutter. Why was it called that? Because allegedly, a dragonfly landed on the blade and was instantly sliced in half by its own weight. Here is the most insane stat about Honda Tadakatsu. He fought in 57 major battles. 57! Do you know what his totals in the knee, no broken bones?
The man fought in 57 wars and finished with a flawless HP bar. People called him the warrior who surpassed death itself. Oda Nobunaga called him a samurai among samurai.
Imagine getting absolutely wrecked in a fight and typing GG, you're just better in the global chat before you bleed out. That was the effect Tadakatsu had on people. He survived the entire Sengoku period, which was only to die in his bed at age 62 after he accidentally cut his own finger while carving some wood and it got infected. The man survived 57 wars without a scratch and got taken out by a splinter. Next up, oh, this one is special. This one is gonna make all the Hollywood screenwriters froth at the mouth. Select Yasuke. It's the year 1581. Oda Nobunaga, the ruthless warlord trying to conquer all of Japan, is sitting in Kyoto. Suddenly, there is a massive riot outside. People are literally crushing each other to death just to get. Nobunaga orders the doors open to see what the chaos is about, and in walks Yasuke. Yasuke was an African man, likely from Mozambique, standing around 6'2" in a country where the average height was like 5 foot nothing.
Nobunaga, who was famously eccentric and loved anything foreign or weird, took one look at him and didn't believe his skin color was real. He actually ordered his servants to strip Ye and scrub him with water because he thought it was ink. Once he realized it was natural, Nobunaga was ecstatic. He basically said, "You are huge, you are strong, and you look intimidating as hell. Do you want a job?" Yasuke was made a retainer, given a katana. He rode into battle alongside his lord, acting as his personal bodyguard and heavy hitter. Unfortunately, his run was short-lived. In 1582, his temple was surrounded and set on fire.
All right, we are down to the final boss, the sweatiest, most toxic, try-hard dual wielder in the entire history of Japan. The guy who basically wrote the guide on by tilting your opponent out of their mind. Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi is the guy every mall ninja thinks they are channeling when they swing a broomstick in their garage. He fought his first lethal duel when he was 13 years old. He went on to fight over 60 duels, but Musashi wasn't just good at swinging a sword, he was the undisputed master of psychological warfare. He realized early on that if you make your opponent extremely angry, stupid mistakes, he would schedule a duel to the death at dawn, and then he would just sleep in. The other guy would be standing there for 3 hours, sweating, stressing out, getting furious, gripping his sword until his knuckles turned white.
He beat the server's top player with the starter weapon just to prove a point. After that, Musashi basically stopped killing people. He realized he had peaked. He spent the rest of his life writing the Book of Five Rings.
It is still read today by martial artists, military commanders, and annoying business executives who think, and that is it. That is the reality of the deadliest samurai. They weren't fighting for the power of friendship. They weren't using magic breathing techniques to slice boulders in half. They were cunning, brutal shis, and literally beat people to death with boat oars. So the next time you get mad because someone is camping in your battle royale lobby, or because you got outplayed by some sweaty tryhard, just remember, Miyamoto Musashi would have done the exact same thing to you. Now get out of my sight. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment about how wrong I am you found on Wikipedia, and remember that nothing you achieve in your digital sandbox will ever be ratio. Bye.